Hi, my name is Josie. Thank you very much for tuning back. I would like to talk about an issue, a very, very unpopular issue, and that is the issue of depression. Whenever you feel depressed, is a, I mean, there's a difference in between feeling sad and being depressed. And sadness, you can have it at any given time, and that's I mean it's part of the human experience, feeling sad. Uh, let's say like you were at the park and then you see a little dog and goes onto the street and a car passes by and you're like, oh, that is feeling sad. But now when you're a lot of people say like, well, I'm depressed, but they don't know what depression is. Well, depression actually does not allow you to do anything. I guess that a lot of the transgender people actually, we have been in that space because we have known what it's like to be ignored and how it's like to not being able to communicate who we are and nobody gets us. That feeling of almost despair that is there and we don't know how to solve it. Now, take in consideration while you're going through the hormone therapy and the hormonal changes, you will have uh, ups and downs on your emotions. Basically, it is a little more drastic for trans women than it is for trans men. Trans men, I don't know if you know, but usually males have a 6 month period time, while females have every 28 days they have their period. Now, men, they also have a period, but is classified differently, but it lasts like about 6 months, and the moods and changes and stuff like that, they are they're uh, so gradually that it's almost impossible to realize that they are actually on their period. But they go through the chemical changes, and it is obviously is for us to expect that, for example, if you are taking like testosterone blockers, so that high that a testosterone gives you is not gonna be there, so it's gonna be suppressed, and on top of that then you have the estrogen, which actually makes a little feel you a little bit less. Then it's like sometimes it can be overwhelming. Now for this I done something with uh, something to adopt, like I adopted a method on which, for example, on my phone, I record on my voice recorder. I go ahead and record something, like I'm feeling like this, I'm going through this and stuff like that, and then I cry a little bit, and then I pass out, go to sleep, and whatnot, and then I wake up. I'm like, what the hell happened? Oh, okay, yeah, I remember that. Okay, so then I go to my phone and then I listen to it. And then I see my problems from my perspective, but it's a different perspective now that I'm not that down low. So it's really, good to have these kind of tools. If it is necessary for you to actually see yourself, go ahead and use your camera, film yourself. Um, if it is necessary, just go ahead and use your computer and go ahead and just film yourself so you can see how others sees you, and being able to work on some issues that you probably never saw it just because of the fact that you were too busy just dwelling in your own misery, that you don't realize it. Um, Trans men, it's okay to cry, and it is it's part of life. I was I was taught not to cry by my father, and there was this point in time where what I actually got pretty much is like I got a really, really, really good beating until I stopped crying. My dad will not stop hitting me until I actually stop crying. So crying for me it has since then it became unnatural to me. I I didn't cry when my grandfather died. I did not cry when my on the other side of the family when my the closest grandmother that I had when she died. I didn't cry. I somebody around me dies, I don't cry. That was prior to my transition. Now during my transition, it's a little easier for me to actually start crying when I'm watching a movie. You know, it's like, oh my gosh, I was watching Interstellar. Just, I mean, yeah, I know it's kind of old, but I was watching it and I'm like, ah. There was another movie that I watched with my one of my best friends, and she wanted me to watch it because she's like, that's a really sad story, but you will be okay, Josie. And I'm like, I don't have a good feeling about this, but all right, let's play it. She passed out like 30 minutes on the movie. I ended up watching the whole thing. I was bawling my eyes out. I was crying at the end of at the end of it. I just grabbed one pillow and then just like slam that pillow in her face. She wakes up. She's like, "What the hell?" I'm like, "What the hell is wrong with you?" I'm like crying like a little one, like a little. So I'm like, this is, I hate you. And then she's like, oh my god, wasn't that good? Yeah, I did cry a lot too. I'm like, you punk, I told you that I didn't want to watch this kind of stuff. She was laughing. Yeah, but that's my friend. But anyways. So coming back to the issue that it is okay for trans men to also cry. It doesn't mean that you actually have to hold your tears just because something hurts. What I found out is that like when I had my motorcycle accident, that was prior to my transition. I didn't like my ankle was like really, really, really bugging me, and I just sort of like walked. A really nice highway patrol officer like took me to give me a ride home because my motorcycle was totaled. Well, not total, but it was pretty bad. And so I did. I was there, and the police officer was like, "Are you seriously okay? Because you just had an accident, and you seem extremely calm." And I'm like, "What should I do? Cry?" I don't know. You tell me. What is the protocol for victims? It's like, well, usually even like big guys, they usually cry, and you're a little one, and you're not even crying. I'm like, I'm cool. Then I got out, took my saddlebag with me, and walk upstairs, go to my apartment, lock the door, and once I locked the door, then I realized what happened like an hour before and how lucky I was. So then I started bawling. I waited until nobody saw that. Obviously, I'm not saying that you should do that, but it's extremely unhealthy. Release your energy. Go ahead and release it. It's okay. Just like peeing. Just peeing where some, like, on a private space. Go ahead and pee. But if you hold your everything that you hold in, at one point or another, becomes a big issue. So go ahead and talk about it. Talk to your friends. Just also remember that your friends don't want to hear everything negative about your life all the time. They want to see you happy too, and give them some happy thoughts as well. Tell them how much you appreciate them. Tell them how much they mean to you. Then you start to realize that your depression is not as bad. That you are not alone, for one, and that problems will be there here and there, come and go, and you just tackle them when they come. If they're far away, there's no need to actually just go ahead and chase them. Save some energies. So with that being said, please, if you want to make a comment, if you want to make a tell us to everybody, like, what are you going through and all that kind of stuff is extremely important for everybody, especially for transgender people, so you will be able to help other transgenders that are watching these videos. So I guess that until then, try to keep on smiling, and I'll see you guys the next time. Bye.